and welcome to the return of the commentaries. You guys asked for it, and I'm delivering. In fact, I made a little Facebook post about it. Hey guys, should I bring back the commentaries? And outstandingly, I got so many responses. Do it! And you guys seem pretty excited about it, so let's do it. Back to 10-minute commentaries. What you're seeing right now is me drawing Fuzzy Fozbear from Five Nights at Freddy's. Real quick though, one of the reasons why I did want to bring back the commentaries is because, well, YouTube kind of prefers longer videos right now. Because of how the algorithm, the behind-the-scenes stuff works, YouTube just says, hey, a 10-minute long video with only 40% of it being watched is more important to us, that is worth more than a 3-minute, 2-minute long video that only has 70% watched. And what that is because of watch time. So say 40% of you guys watch, or say you guys, all of you only watch 40% of this video, that is still 4 minutes, which is a lot more than, say, 70% of a shorter video is only like a minute and a half. And so YouTube just has basically said, we want this. We want longer videos, partially so they compete more with television, and partially because that's what advertisers want, is longer videos. It just makes it seem more like television, I guess. And so there we go. A lot of animators are currently up in a fuss, and for me, it's just like, I'm just doing watch me draws now. I want to do animations, and I'll do animations, but watch me draws are kind of the main focus of the channel because they can actually succeed and they can actually be successful on YouTube. Not that I make a lot of money off this. I barely make anything from the channel so far, which is, I don't think a lot of people know the successfulness of actual YouTubers. And basically, you can't really make a living off of it unless you have a couple 100,000 subscribers and a couple 100,000 views per video, and you're doing videos regularly, like every other day or daily. So really, Let's Players and vloggers are the only ones that can really be successful. Enough of that. Let's talk about the piece. Okay, so I'm using the chunky chalk brush for the most of this. There is certain times I'm using the default or a square brush, but for the most part, this is a chunky chalk piece. What is the chunky chalk brush? It is a custom-made brush made by a DeviantArt user called Mark Winters. It's completely free. It's a fantastic brush. It's really great for digital painting. If you have a tablet, if you softly push against the screen or the tablet, it gives you this chalky look, but if you push harder, it gives you more of this painted, solid look, very liquidy. It's a really good overall brush that does a lot of things, and I really, really enjoy it. In fact, if I have to do anything with texture, I tend to pop that out immediately. It's probably the second most common brush I use outside the default. So for this piece, I really wanted, like, my main focus for this was dark shadows, getting the eyes to glow, and making the fuzziness of his actual suit look really, really solid. That was like my main focus. And a little later in the video, you can actually see me start kind of getting it. One thing about these videos, or just drawing in general, is I don't always have things memorized, like techniques. And so sometimes it takes me a little while to kind of get in the gear or get in the mode, and then I start taking off. But like, there's definitely like the slow start, and right here is where I'm starting to kind of understand what I'm doing. And it's like, I knew that I might have to start off dark and then plot dots of brighter colors. And that just kind of, that makes sense in the real world, right? The brighter it is, that means more light's hitting it, and obviously more light hitting it means it sticks out more compared to something that the light isn't hitting it and should be darker. So with this one, this is actually the second piece I did of Freddy. I don't know why I keep changing. I think Fuzzy Fozbear is a Muppet, maybe? I don't know. But this is the second attempt at this particular piece. I did, in fact, here on the right-hand side, I'm going to, there you go. Now there's a video of the previous one. 2 watch me draws for the price of 1. Yeah! But I didn't like how that one was coming out. Just something about, I don't know what was wrong with it, but there's definitely a lot more body. There's a lot more going on with it. But I think with pieces like this, simplicity kind of works better. Especially with, especially with horror pieces. You don't want to reveal too much, because as soon as you start revealing things, because with horror, the best part about horror is your imagination. You filling in the gaps, because nothing can scare you more than yourself, than your own mind. And you guys have ever seen like a horror movie, as soon as they reveal the monster, something about the movie just stops being scary. And it's because it just basically did not live up to your expectation, because again, they can't scare you more than you can scare yourself. I did not actually play this game. I watched 2 Let's Players. I watched Markiplier, which was the first video I've ever watched of the guy. I've seen him before. I highly respect the man. He's like everything a YouTuber should be. Charitable. He knows that he has a responsibility since he has so many younger audiences following him. And he takes, responsibility for his actions. Just a fantastic guy. His actual video, I kind of liked it, kind of didn't. I'm always scared to talk about people, because I know that he's very, very loved by many, many people. And I just didn't like how much he hammed it up, and I don't think he was as scared as he made himself to be. And once, I don't know, something about the illusion kind of broke for me. I did watch all his videos regarding this particular piece, and between him and reading the wiki, I'm not an expert on Five Nights at Freddy's, but I did get all the lore. There's some really creepy stuff, like apparently all the suits are actually stuffed with kids. If you read into the background, you can find that. But yeah, he did it. He was my introduction to this particular game. I kind of wish I did play it though. I think it's like $5 on Steam. Maybe I might live stream it sometime. I don't know if I would record it and put it on YouTube. I think too many people complain because I think you guys come here for art. You don't come here for let's play videos. And so, anyways, the second video I watched was Game Grumps, mostly because I really liked this game. I like the lore of it. I like the characters. I think this is a really cool game. I'm like, okay, I'll watch the Game Grumps for it. And I've not necessarily been the biggest fan of Game Grumps. I really liked the beginning of Game Grumps when John and Aaron were together and they played Goof Troop. But aside from that video, there's very few of the videos that I really, really enjoyed Game Grumps. And I really like Danny. The introduction with Danny, I watched that for a little bit, but then kind of lost interest again. And right now, my biggest complaint between the Five Nights at Freddy's video and generally Game Grumps, and just in a bigger sense, is, well, Aaron tends to not listen to the game, doesn't read anything, doesn't listen to the audio, or it skips story. And for a guy, to him, I guess he just, I know he really cares about story, but, if it's not told to him through gameplay, or a gaming mechanic, he just throws it out the window, and it's really, really infuriating for me because that's not the only style of games you can do. And there's a lot of points where they're watching, or while I'm watching this, where he didn't listen to the guy that calls you at the beginning of the game. The first few nights, there's a guy that kind of tells you how to play through dialogue, and he talked over the whole thing, and then he was lost and wasn't really sure. And he's clearly he's playing it fine. He's obviously they're making their way, but it could be a lot easier journey if they didn't do that. And so I get a little frustrated with that personally. Overall, I really like this piece. I knew I was going to do the jump scare in the video. In Markiplier's video, there was one jump scare that got me. I was like, ah! I did the scream and everything. It was just that moment of just, ah! And I was like, well, okay, cool. I do have to thank Game Grumps, though. I did use their footage for the jump scare because they're the only ones I could find that didn't have face cam. And I didn't want that to be a distracting kind of an ugly thing on my channel. So boom, there you go. And so I used theirs. But yeah, the jump scare got me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to throw a jump scare in here because no one's going to expect a jump scare in a drawing video. It's going to be great, and I did kind of wake up and enjoy all the comments. Not in a bad way, just kind of yes, it worked. Not so much I scared a bunch of people. I did not like the teeth on this. I both forgot the teeth and the eyebrows while working in this thing. While working, I was just oh, this is looking great. And then, I didn't account for them. And so they just kind of fell off. I did darken the teeth as much as possible. And maybe the fact that they feel so off kind of helps with it. Because this is one of those things where, appeal doesn't quite always have to be accurate or there. You don't necessarily need appeal. And so things being kind of gross or ugly looking kind of works in the favor of, it makes things off. Because when you see, media, you tend to get a certain design thing to make you like it. And the teeth did not make me like it. I did forget the eyebrows as well, which I add on after I do a little bit of the blood. There was one idea I was toying with the idea of making him bleed blood because a lot of the creepypastas from last year required that as part of their design, and I just kind of no, I'll leave that out. That I was sure someone's going to mechanically be no, that didn't happen in the game. So I was okay, I'll leave it out. But yeah, overall, and I think at this point I start drawing a little bit of the stitching because it is a a suit, and yeah, there we go, there I am. So I hope you guys enjoyed the return of the commentaries. They're not bad. I've recorded this thing like 3 times, though. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments down below between that and what you want to see me draw. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate you guys. And as a bonus, I do look at the commentaries because you guys are the die-hard fans. If you leave the what you want to see me draw, this video holds more weight than the actual other videos. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week with another Watch Me Draw, as well as another commentary.